Palo Part 2 video. It's been a hit. People have been asking about it, text messaging me about it. When are you going to do Part 2? So here we go with Part 2. Now, for those in YouTube, I do all the live videos in Instagram. I'm going to put in the description my link to Instagram. You guys could follow. All right. So before I start this, I just want to say I don't claim to know everything. The stories that I share, the information that I share here with you guys is personal information and information that has been passed down to me by my elders. I'm not here saying that the information that I give you is from everyone who practiced this tradition. This is personal information that I've acquired through all the years of practice and also from interviews and friends. Now, let's start with the types of ceremony. The first ceremony is what we call presentation, right? And I spoke a little bit on that on the last video. And then we have the ceremony of Engeo, Nufrito, Pino Nuevo, or whatever you want to call it. Presentation is normally done to present you. It's like having one foot in and one foot out, right? But it's mostly done for protection, or it's done because you have something small that you have to fix, but you're not gonna practice. A lot of times it's just done for protection, right? And then we have the ceremony of Engeo most of the time. And I say this is from my experience and from what we do in our lineage and in my Enso, right? Munanso. Let me move this here a little bit for YouTube. It depends, right? But a lot of people get the Engeo ceremony because they're gonna go to Ocha, but it's more recommended to go ahead and do the whole Tata or Yaya ceremony if you're gonna go to Ocha, right? And there's other types of reasons. I'm not gonna be here giving you all the reasons, or this video is gonna be very, very long because there's a lot of information. And that's why I say, ask your godparents, your future godparents. Ask all the questions that you can ask them before you decide to go through this process. And then, of course, the last ceremony is Tata, Oyaya, and Ganga. And as I described before in the other video, then they have Tata and Kisi, and you have Tata and Kisi, Malongo. And Malongo nowadays is not practiced like it used to be practiced before. Now is known as something that is called Munalongo. All right, so I had a reminder from a follower. Shout out to him, Angel. Well, he also wanted me to speak a little bit, and like I say, every moon and so is different, right? Here we do follow that rule that before you go into any ceremony, especially the ceremony of an initiation, there's no sexual activities a few days prior to that. Sometimes we say 3, 4, depends on what it is that you're going through. And then no sexual activities a few days after. So he just wanted me to share that with you guys, which there you go. Okay. Some might not follow those rules. Some might do something different, and some might ask you for a longer period of time. There are some other ceremonies that you should expect. And like I keep saying, every spiritual house is different. For example, here, as an Engeo, we give you what is called Caja de Muerto, the burial ceremony. And that is when you get buried. Unfortunately, it's hard for people to do it the right way because you're supposed to be buried in the ground and then dirt thrown on top of you and stuff. Unfortunately, it depends on the situation, right? But there's other ways that it could be done. For example, we put you on the floor on the tarp, and then we get the cemetery dirt and we put it, and then we rub that all over you for certain reasons. You are also gonna be asked, and this isn't a lot of in souls, moon and souls, to bring some type of white clothes. In our case, we ask our godchildren, our future godchildren, to bring nurse scrubs, because that outfit that you go through the ceremony with is very, very important. Do not throw that away. You can always ask your tata or yaya, what is the purpose of that ceremony? Because I'm not here to give you all the secrets. Because there's people that practice this without initiations, without going through the rites of initiation, without giving minga, which means without giving blood and making that sacred oath. And then they start charging and doing ceremonies that they themselves have not received. Okay. So that outfit is put away. You will also receive an impemba, which is a candle. And that candle is very important that you keep. You save it, you put it in a safe place. Okay. Now, who are the ones that can tell you if you need initiation, or if you need a ceremony in this tradition? The first one is, of course, a tata or a yaya. An Ngeo cannot, since an Ngeo should not have an nganga, should not be telling you that you need an initiation. And that's in our case, right? Means in our spiritual house. A santero can also divine. It doesn't matter if that santero has gone through the initiation or not. If it comes into the divination that they do, and it's suggested that you find a tato ayaya or you seek, it could come out in the oracle reading. Okay? And of course, in Oriate as well. A babalao can also suggest, or an oluo can suggest that you seek out somebody who practices this tradition, which we're talking about Palo. Okay? Now, who are the ones that are allowed to scratch you? And this, like I say, is different from everyone, okay? But most of the people that I know is the same thing. If it's a yaya or a tata, sorry, I'm almost messed up there. The only one, right, in Palo is a tata that is allowed to scratch you, give you the ceremony, and Ngeo is not allowed to give you the ceremony. If a tata does not have an nganga, he could scratch you on top of the yaya's pot, as long as he is an entata and kisi, because he was given the ceremony of the embele, the enchufla, which is the knife, la navaja, whatever you want to call it, embelecoto, embeleco, whatever you want to call it. But he has received the ceremonies of tata and kisi. A oriate who practices, there are many people in this community that, there are many people in this community that practice Palo, they practice Ocha, and they practice other traditions. As long, listen to this is controversial, but this is my opinion. As long as the oriate or santero is not homosexual, do your research before. If you're okay with that, that's your decision. A lot of people claim that a Babalao can give you the ceremonies. I'm not a Babalao. I don't know the rules. Now, this is accordingly to what was told to me by my elders and other people that I speak. A Babalao is not authorized to give you the ceremony. Because once a Babalao goes into the other land, he's all about Ifa, all about Orula. And from what I've been told, they're not allowed to scratch. They might say something different, but that's up to them. You have a conversation with them. I'm not an Ifa priest, so I'm not gonna go against that or speak ill up on that. Now they have this thing, a pot, I believe it's called Ngurumfinda, that they say that they claim to be able to do that. I would suggest you do your research before you decide to let them do that. They'll give you different things or different, I forgot, oduns, where they say that they're allowed to, right? At the end of the day, who decides is the Nganga. The Nganga of that Tata is the one, or in case of Yaya, but the Yaya doesn't scratch, is the one that decides if you're gonna get scratched there or no. Doesn't mean that you don't have a walk. That means in the spiritual house. And then Gayo, like I said, is not allowed to perform those ceremonies, especially if they don't have a pot, an Nganga, a caldero, a sarana, whatever you want to call it. Now, you keep hearing me say the word Monanso and so. That's the name, and it has different other names. That's the name of what is called a spiritual house. In my interpretation, the way I explain it to people is, it's a school of knowledge. It's a college. It's where you go and learn. Yes, you have to pay for the ceremony, but it also includes that tuition for classes, for you to learn, for you to become part of that spiritual house, to learn the secrets of that spiritual house. Because every spiritual house has their own secrets and they do it their own way. No two spiritual houses are alike. No two teachers will teach you the same way. If you go to Harvard University today and then you leave and you want to go to Yale and you're going to study the same subject, but the teachers will teach you a different way. No two teachers are there to teach you the same thing and exactly the same. Everybody has a different style, different secrets. But it's mostly to know the secrets of Guindavela, the secrets of Ensaura La Grande, Corta Lima. I myself, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. When I first started this spiritual path, my first initiation was in in Corta Lima. I come from a house of Corta Lima. Now, my godfather decided to go to Ifa, and he had to stop the practices. So then I ended up going to a spiritual house, a Monansoka, Brahma con Brahma, right? I'm not gonna go ahead and say the whole name. And after that, I was lucky to find one of my best spiritual teachers that gave me passed down. And I'm not saying the others before weren't great, but when I really, really learned about this tradition was from El Monanzo Acaba Cuento, Jesús Hernández el Congo, o Jesús Hernández el Prieto de los Acaba Cuento. And that man gave me a lot of knowledge. And that's how you see everything is different when you visit other people's spiritual house. The pronunciation of words are different. The mumbles, right? The singing, the songs that they do is different. The tratados that they do are different. Everyone is different. Even if I will go to another Brahma con Brahma and so, Moon and so, even though it's Brahma con Brahma, that spiritual teacher will teach different. In our Moon and so, not only do I teach Brahma con Brahma, but I teach Cortalima, I teach Acaba Cuento, because it's an experience. I teach all three of my styles that we work, 3 tratados, 3 secrets. And you're gonna see that even if you go right now, if you're in this spiritual house and you leave to go visit another God's brother spiritual house, you're gonna see them doing things different as well. Well, it was a short video today. Now I will continue with part 3 before I get into the history. There's a lot that I wanna touch upon. Just a little quick video. Any questions, please feel free to DM me. Now this one in particular is brought to you by Cleanse and Protect by the Healing Priestess. It's a beautiful smell. Cleanse and Protect. If you're interested in this spiritual oil, you can go into the link. Those on Instagram can go into the bios and click on Linktree, and it'll take you to the page where you can get the oil. Very soft, very calm, and actually makes you feel relaxing after you use that. With that said, hope you have a wonderful Saturday and enjoy the rest of your day.